Hey, shall we go for it? And I've got a thumbs up from Louis, so it's all got to be good. Ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys, and assembled company, wherever you are in this big wide world and whatever time of day it is, welcome to the World Storytelling Cafe. And today, what I say today, it's this evening in the UK, but it could be today, morning, afternoon, anywhere.
That's right.
We have with us, he's been on before, but this is a special of our Children's Night for Black History Month, is the amazing, the wonderful, the poet, Donavan Christopher, aka Rappaman. Please put your hands together and welcome onto the stage, Donavan Christopher.
Thank you very much. Really appreciate that introduction, John. I just need the lights to start flashing now, but really appreciate. Look, to the World Wide Web and everybody who's tuning in, really delighted to have you on board. I can't see all of you, and it's kind of a strange thing, but I do believe you're out there. And so you've got an evening with me, Donavan Christopher, aka the Rappaman. Tick-tock goes the clock, time don't stop. Always read between my lines, then you'll get some extra rhymes. And as we're in the month of Black History, I thought I've got to share, some stuff with my viewers. So I hope you've got a bit of a pen and paper on standby. I've always got a pen somewhere. Love pens, and I'm going to share some poems about pens later. But just to give you some information, you can take some notes. It is Black History Month. And, I think it's up to everybody to go and do their own research. Now, you can either go www.blackhistorymonth.org and find out some information. But if you get some names of some people that you never heard before, for example, like Carter G. Woodson, that's a very interesting name that I'm sharing with you, that if you can make a note of that, trust me, when you go away and find out about this man, it kind of helps you understand what Black history is about and where we are today in society. But anyway, and I'll also be sharing a poem with a few of the names. So TikTok does go the clock. Just to start this, I'd like to share this with you. It's called The Undefeated by Kwame Alexander, and it's being illustrated by Kadia Nelson. And the Anderson Press have actually given us permission to read this. And I do need to share it with you. So let's go for it, yeah? Goes like this. I don't know if you can see that picture right, if I get the angle right first. It's all about the angles. This is for the unforgettable, the swift, sweet ones who hurdled history and opened a world of possible. Some of you may have this book. This is for the ones who survived America by any means necessary. And this is for the ones that didn't. This is for the undeniable, the ones who scored with chains on one hand and faith in the other. This is for the unflappable, the sophisticated ones who box adversity and tackle vision. Jack Johnson. This is for those who shine their light for the world to see and don't stop till the break of dawn. This is for the unafraid, the audacious ones who carried the red and white and weary blue on the battlefield to save an imperfect union. This is for the righteous marching ones who sang, "We shall not be moved, Black Lives Matter." This is for the unspeakable. Now, for those that may have never seen this picture, it's a great question to ask the kids if they knew what it was, or, one young lad said to me, "It looks like black people protesting." And he wasn't really far from the truth, because I'm sure they were protesting. And for those that have never seen this picture, it's the picture of the belly of a slave ship and how they transported and packed the Africans when they captured them and took them across the triangle to the Caribbean and the Americas. And that's how they transported him. It was probably 2 and 3 decks Hi, 1, 2. So anyway, this is for the unspeakable. Broken homes. This is for the unspeakable. This is for the unlimited, unstoppable ones, the dreamers and doers who swim across the big sea of our imagination and show us the majestic shores of the promised land. This is for the Wilma Rudolphs, the Muhammad Alis, the Althea Gibsons, the Jesse Owens, the Jordans, the LeBrons, the Serenes, the Cheryls, and the Reese Whitleys, and the undiscovered. This is for the unbelievable, the wee, real cool ones. This is for the unbending, the black as night is beautiful ones. This is for the underdogs and the uncertain, the unspoken, but no longer untitled. This is for the undefeated. This is for you, and you. Thank you very much. Can I have a round of applause for that, please? Kwame Alexander, The Undefeated, illustrated by Kadia Nelson. Wonderful poem. Thank you very much. And I do believe I'm going to be sharing some stuff. So if you've got some questions, please, if you feed them in, we will try to answer as many questions later on as possible. Thank you very much. This next poem I want to share with you, because the season of Black History is called The Father of Black History. And as I said, always read between my lines, then you'll get some extra rhymes. And it goes like this. It's in one of my books here, Rappaman to the Rescue. Here we go. Who's the father of Black history? Now it's never going to be a mystery. He put Black scholars in the Hall of Fame. Carter G. Woodson is his name. He graduated at Harvard University, where he received the honorary PhD. He studied Negro life and history about the Africans' contribution to society. In 1926, founded Black History Week and gave Black people all a chance to speak. Black heroes and sheroes from the past, and even today, some of their work still lasts. Mary C. Cole, a Jamaican nurse by the British War Office. She was cursed. She funded a trip with her very own purse to save wounded soldiers because they came first. And Garrett Morgan, your future's bright. You gave us all new traffic lights. And Frederick Douglass, who was a slave, who became a free man, bold and brave, who fought for you, me, and everybody. And even as time flies past, some books have been written and written to last. A round of applause, or 3 cheers. Alexander Dumas wrote The Three Musketeers, and when his pen began to flow, he even wrote The Count of Monte Cristo. Who's the father of Black history? Now it's never going to be a mystery. He put Black scholars in the Hall of Fame. If you go www, just Google their names. Thank you very much. Enough respect. Enough respect. Another interesting character I need to share with you. I grew up in the 70s. You know, I know people say I've stood the test of time. It's all about the rhymes in my mind, but I grew up in the 70s. I am a 60s generation Windrush children. And I grew up watching a program called The Lone Ranger. It was a white sheriff in the Wild West, and he had an Indian scout that worked with him, brought an awareness about great kings and queens of Africa, and also the Atlantic slave trade, because there was nothing positive about Black people shown in schools when I was there. So I came across this young man. He's called Bass Reeves, Bassreeves, Bass Reeves. I don't want to spoil it for you, but if you're interested and you know the Lone Ranger, if you're familiar with it, you know, some of you, the new generation, the Millennium Youths, you might not know the Lone Ranger, but I'm sure he's online somewhere. But when you see the Lone Ranger and then you read Bass Reeves' story, I believe that the Lone Ranger we saw during the 70s was a depiction of Bass Reeves, who was a slave who became the greatest US Marshal. I'll leave that to you to go and look for yourself, because it is about your own research. I can tell you loads of stuff. I may be lying. I may be misinformed. Yeah, I would not be lying to you, but I would maybe misinformed. But I do try to do a thorough research before sharing this information with you. So this next poem is called Olada Equiano. Goes like this. Olada Equiano, a black literacy hero. As a slave, he learned to read and write, and with his pen, he began the fight. Olada was captured from his village. This 11-year-old boy was not no savage, taken and stole through the middle passage. Can you imagine how he would have managed? He spent some time in the West Indies before being sold for unreasonable fees to a Virginia planter, then a naval officer, who renamed him Gustavus Vasa. He learned to read and he learned to write, and with his pen he began the fight. After 10 years, he was free, of course. As a present, he was first bought. He worked those days for his slave master throughout the continent of North America. He learned to read and learned to write, and with his pen, he began to fight. He spoke of the European slave trade from his point of view of this as a slave. He even wrote to the House of Lords. He even wrote how the chains of slavery must be broke. A letter was sent to the Secretary of State saying Africans should never face such a tragic fate. He was the first black author to write to the Queen and challenge slavery, which was well unpristine. Olada Equiano, a black literacy hero. As a slave, he learned to read and write, and with his pen, he began the fight. Thank you very much. As I said, it is Black History Month, and I do want to share another name with you as we go through these. Another name I want to share with you is Percy Julian. You might not have heard that name. I'm sure we've heard of the Rosa Parkses, the Garrett Morgans. We do hear of some of the regular ones. Frederick Douglass is a regular name that we do call upon. Mary Seacole is another, but there are thousands more. Nanny of the Maroons. This is a name that came to me when I was at school, but I had no idea why I heard it at school. Strange as it may seem. I was at my junior level those days. And it was a name called Toussaint L'Ouverture. And I just liked the name. It sounded really cool. That's a cool name, Toussaint L'Ouverture. And it wasn't again till I'd left school who I actually found out who this young man was. And he's worth his weight in gold for you to go and research and find out Toussaint L'Ouverture and the history connected to it. My next poem is simply called In Destitution, and it's called A Slave's Prayer for Freedom. It goes like this. I am of no significance, I am of no worth. I am not even seen as a man to freely walk this earth. I am of no textures, I am of no more tears. I am heartless within my vestures, no substance for my fears. I am of no meaning, I am of no virtue to behold. I am forever grieving in the solitude of my soul. If time should stop to bring emancipation my way, then maybe I could live and breathe for a day. And if time were to bring us all together, then maybe I could live and breathe forever. Thank you very much. Thank you. This next poem is all about the word history. I love looking at words. Look at words all the time and split them up and see how many different words are in there. Like the word knowledge. That's just a play word I'm throwing out here because it is knowledge, Black history, knowledge that we were sort of denied and it was suppressed. I thought, when I was at school, where was all this information? It was under somebody's bed, I think. But if it's there today, when I was at school, I think, well, where was it? So please, never deny the truth, the light of the day. It is all about truth. Goes like this. Look at the word history and knowledge. There's loads of words in knowledge that you could actually find all the words that are written in knowledge without rearranging the word, and then see if you can write a poem or a rap about knowledge. Yeah, trust me, you'll enjoy that one. Just look at the word knowledge and you'll see, oh my gosh, there's an owl in there. And you know, books and theories of talk about a wise owl in the word called knowledge. It's crazy. So please look into that word, find the words, make rhyming couplets for them, and then see if you can write your own poem or rap about knowledge and education, even Black history. This is the word called history. one word split into two. It was all about his story. When he came back conquering some of the lands and he spoke at the town hall, the people or the local community would say, did you hear his story? There were giants in the land of Nod, and so forth. So the word history is also to be looked at and think about why it was called history. So this is a poem I've called History or My Story. Yeah, his story or my story. It's like that in schools with arguments. There's always two sides, but some people only heard his story, which brings me around to a saying, until the lions have had their say, it's an old African proverb, until the lions have had their say, then the hunters will have all the glory. This is a poem called His Story and My Story. This is history. 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 This is his story. This is his story. His story says we were found and we were never lost. His story ever given it a thought. His story says we are inferior and they see themselves superior. His story says we are not to be trusted around their children and wives. We will eat them without forks and knives. His story says we are savages without languages capable of any civilization. This is his story, not my story. My story, my story started long before his story. Their books and scholars have tried to ignore me. My story is of ancient Nubian Kemet kingdoms, magnificent cities in African's regions. My story is of organized, centralized in a society where love thy neighbor was a priority and treated everybody just like family. And every other day someone says, please marry me. My story is raw facts, artifacts, books of mysteries hidden within Timbuktu's pages, showing how life should be lived and taken in stages. My story is from a family point of view. Talk to the family, you'll always find something new. We should all know there's two sides to a story. We should now realize why they've tried to ignore me. To ignore my story would be their glory. Well, to check it out lightly, if the truth be known, his story is just Jacka Nori. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Yes, look at the word history. Look at all words. Another word I'm just going to throw out with you. It's actually in my new book. I won't share that one tonight because it was on ready for launch in March and it's on lockdown. It's in isolation. It's, you know, I've had to just freeze. And even books being sent out to places, they go on lockdown. So hopefully next year, March, we may have another launch. Another name I need to share with you is simply called William Key. Just scribble that down swiftly. William Key. And please do your own research and go and find out about William Key. And then you look at the social times William Key was living in, and then you reflect on today's journey of the African diaspora. And there's three names I need to give you of these three women. You may have heard them already. Katharina Johnson, Dorothy Vaughan, and Mary Jackson. Katharina Johnson, Dorothy Vaughan, and Mary Jackson, because there were many women who played a prominent part in the struggle to where we are today. So, please, this next poem, in celebration of Black history, is simply called Black History Is. It goes like this. Black history is proud. Black history is loud. Black history is oil. Black history is soil where life was royal. Black history is cold. Black history is gold. Black history is the night where life unfolds. Black history is light. Black history is beauty. Black history is purity in the darkness of security. Black history is coffee. Black history is tea. Black history is the abyss of slavery. Black history is old. Black history is sold. Black history, as my story, has to be told. Thank you very much. And at that point, I shall, as I said, I don't want to overwhelm you with Black history information because it even overwhelms me. And when I do my research, you know, I'm left, right, center, and it's like, you know, focus on one character, digest as much as you can about that person. And it's strange because once you start finding these scholars and heroes and sheroes of the past, you kind of see somebody else that catches your eye, and you sort of click onto that. And before you realize it, you may have 4 different sets of paper just taking notes. So focus on one particular character or subject or something that you found out, and take as much information that you can find about that. And to learn it, the only way you actually learn that is to go and share it with somebody else. That's the best way to learn. In fact, share it with 3 or 4 people. And by the time you share it with the 4th person, you will really understand it a lot more. And then maybe start looking for somebody else to sort of bring to light. So there's your Black history. It's never going to be a mystery. Carter G. Woodson is his name. He put Black scholars in the Hall of Fame. So as we move, this next poem in the poetry section, as I says, it was National Poetry Day, the 1st of October. So we can share some poems through the month of October. My first poem is simply called With Precision. Bit of a tongue twister. See if you can write one like this. Goes like this. This is literally, let me start again, because literally competition. Can you write a composition? Literally, literacy. Have some fun and rhyme like me, with rhyming, timing, in precision. A heart and mind are on a mission. Words of iron and people listen. Sparkle like fire and begin to glisten. Every word spoke became a written style and thought of your decision. The composition is literacy, with a hint and dash of numeracy, alternatively between the lines, addition, subtractions, and plus sometimes, with yards, squares, and rectangles. And don't forget all the right angles. Watch pen to paper, make an incision, and free, emancipate words from your prism. Then handle your pen with precise precision, and let the words on the page be your decision. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I can't hear a lot of things, so somebody...
I'll get muted still.
Yeah, I appreciate that. You've got the thumbs up. You've got the thumbs up stuff. I've been told there's thumbs up stuff, and if you're feeling the vibes, you can send a little love. And also, as I said, please send in your questions to Mr. John Rowe at the helm of the ship. Is that okay there, John? You still with us?
That's great. And there will be an opportunity for people to ask you questions at the end.
Definitely.
So they can. We'll unmute everybody at the end, and
no problem.
We'll just people can have a natter with you.
Yeah, please get.
We'll retire to the canteen, as it's the children's night. We'll say canteen, and over a coffee or a juice, a fruit juice. We will.
That sounds fantastic.
We will talk to you. But for right now, let's have some more poetry. Louis, are you enjoying yourself? Yes.
Louis, thank you very much. Sending out a big respect.
Louis is very important because he's with us every week.
I am.
This is to my new godson and his little son. Big respect, and what we say is more love. Yeah, Jay, you know I'm talking. So listen, let's keep flowing, because this next poem, I think everybody has ideas, and an idea is a thought. And I think storytellers and writers, poets, I think when they get thoughts, they straight away look for a pen. And everybody has thoughts. And the ones who don't write these thoughts down, and sometimes they're interesting thoughts. And if you think it's interesting, just share it with your family and, start building it from there, because we all have thoughts. This next poem is simply called Voices and Thoughts Are Laid Down in Ink. There's letters and words to make people. A poem is like a table waiting to be set, just like the ink after it is wet. Line after line, the table is arrayed. Slowly but surely, the table is laid. Words are served with a black ladle. Delicious spicy brain food on your table. Introduce delicatessens for your starters, or sometimes wine, coffee, stout or juice, a little tea or coffee to make you feel spruce. The main course is the content of what you eat. The words you eat are the words you speak. Some words are vegetables, some words are meat, some words are horrible, some words are sweet. Dessert for conclusion. I have a problem saying this word. I always stop here. My father would say, go for the dessert in the fridge. And I'd go to the fridge and get him his ice cream and jelly. and it was desert, and it really is difficult for me to say dessert. Dessert sounds like I've left here as well, and I've deserted the, but anyway, ice cream for conclusion, ice cream or spongy pud, custard for inclusion, it all tastes good. A table laid forever, no sell-by dates, just a feast full of words to decorate your plate. You can digest more if you use your skill. And for this meal, there is no bill, but every time you read, you will get your full fill. So go on, just chill. Thank you. Thank you. As I said, education is all about learning stuff, and I think we all can be distracted, which brings me around to my next poem. I've done workshops on these in classrooms in the good days, in the good old days, and I would go around and talk to the students, and then I'd say to him, do you know I'm trying to distract you? Because he's not really getting much done if I'm talking to him. And if you want to get something done, you can't afford to be distracted. And young people and adults, we all can be distracted. So please digest this and see if you can work with it. It's called distractions. A thought of mind with adverse reactions to lose focus upon the main attraction. A pause in time where nothing is clear. I wonder if I was really here. How long, how much have I been distracted? And when I got back, how I reacted. Did I lose some time, or was my knowledge inclined, suitable for the thought I had in mind? A second or two, and I'm back on the plot. But the thought of mind, I forgot. Distractions, a mind breakdown of chain reactions. Can we train our minds to truly focus and center our thoughts on the things before us? Maybe distractions we have are a vision in time, because in distractions we can lose or make time. Understand it. It says, so long as our objectives are still safe and secure, then maybe for distractions there is no cure. So continue forward to achieve your aim. Understand your distractions. It's part of the game. The nature of distraction in a physical sense was not necessarily of a physical intent, but for whatever somewhat reason, you may have been sent. Thank you very much. Thank you. Big respect. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Which brings me around to R to the A to the PPA. Rappaman is here today to show you how to read and rap. Write enough rhymes just like that. Pick up a pen, thinking cap, pen and paper, start to tap. R to the A to the PPA. Donavan C is here today, showing love and enough respect. Enough respect is what you get. R to the A to the PPA. Words in work, rest and play like work to the O. R and K, R to the E, S and T, P to the L to the A and you're supposed to say Y. P to the L and A and
why?
Because words are a fountain gone to the
Sky.
R to the A to the PPA, rap, rap, rap till the old and grey. Don't disrespect what I say, because words will help you along life's way. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Which brings me around to yourself. Nice little poem. It's always about you. Be yourself and no one else. Big respect to all the listeners. I'm going to throw out, man, I've really spotted some stuff coming in here. Thank you very much. And also one of these, big respect. So this next one is called Yourself. And yourself is really the main thing. Nobody's not going to do it for you, especially when you become of a certain age. So when we talk about yourself, don't think about it as being selfish, because nobody's going to go and do your studying for you. Nobody's going to go and do everything for you. So this is called Yourself, and it goes like this. Be yourself and no one else. That's the crowd. Be yourself and no one else. Whoever told you to be someone else? Be yourself and no one else. Whoever told you to be someone else? The sun shines for you and everybody too. The rain from the sky is for me and for you. We breathe the same air, you and me. You like coffee, I like
tea.
Well, actually, it's drinking chocolate. But I see no reason and start a war with my army. So be yourself and no one. Whoever told you to be someone else? Be yourself and no one.
else.
Whoever told you to be someone else? The earth is a house, yeah, for everyone to share. I hope from today we all take, yeah,
Care.
a house like ours, a house like ours
But
is
big.
truly rare. You'll never find another one like this out there. So I hope today we're smart and prepare to be yourself and no one
else.
Whoever told you to be someone
Else.
be yourself and no one
Else.
Thank you, Jason. Whoever told you to be someone
Else.
be your
Self.
big respect. Can we have a round of applause for that young man? Is it Louis? Can we have a big round of applause there for Louis? Lots of love for him there. Yeah. TikTok goes the clock, time don't stop. This next one is called I'm Just a Poem. You know, when people say I can read it like a book, you've got people who are books. Well, I'm like a book of poems. And then you've got people who are like adventure, fearful, thrillers, non-fiction. Yeah. So, and when people say I can read you just like a book, it's got to tell you something about yourself. So this is called I'm Just a Poem. Goes like this. I'm just a poem, but I'm alive. I'm just a poem. I'll always survive. I have feelings, meanings, and notions. To the ink, the pen, and the pad, I show my devotion. I'm just a poem I was written for you to take some time to see the full view. I look at you, and you look at me. I stare at you, and you read me. I am a mirror, the reflection to you, the connection to you. You and I are on the same stage, page, even age. I'm also that poem to guide you when you're growing. All right, stop. You stop, grow. To keep it in the knowing, in wind, rain, sandstorm, and even when it's snowing, and when you're feeling down and weak, I keep you going. Remember me, I'm just a poem. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Which brings me around to these two pupils in my class. Stare all day and learn so fast. These two pupils rarely speak, but their written work is really neat. These two pupils do everything together, and everyone says they're all so... These two pupils are always there and always playing with their
hairdo.
These same pupils in my class look at the world from behind the glass. At school, they never see my face, even though we share the same space. These two pupils synchronize because these two pupils are in my eyes. Always read between my lines, then you'll get the extra rhymes. And it's strange, really, because when I'm in school and I do that poem, I get some, and I know there's some people I haven't understood. And then you get the, oh yeah, because they start talking to each other. And when they start going, oh yeah, that's the learning sound. You've all done it. Oh yeah. And your face smiles and you get warm. Yeah. Oh yeah, I get you now. Them two dots in your eyes. Look at your mothers, look at your fathers, look at anybody's. For the ones that don't know, are simply called pupils. Yeah, they are called pupils. So you go to school as a pupil and you bring another two pupils to school with you. So I expect you to bring a lot more work home. And I hope the parents have heard that. Yeah. Make sure them children bring home more work. There's 3 kids going to school as one. Thank you very much. This next poem is called Lazy Tom. Sorry, Tom, if you're out there. If you're not lazy, then stand proud and I salute you. And maybe if you are a bit lazy, maybe this might be about you. Goes like this. Lazy Tom was also lazy. He lounged around on the basis of daily. Tom would never go to school. He'd rather play and be Tom Fool. He never read a single book or even ever took a look. At night, he'd hang out and sometimes sing with his mates through the gates. Off they'd roam, and by early next morning, Tom would always be home. Mum never seemed to be bothered. If it were me, I would have got clobbered. Mum, he would eat, yawn, sleep in the flat. Well, I suppose you'd do the same if you were a cat. Thank you very much. Thank you. Tom, Cat, Tom and Jerry. I have to break that down sometimes because we've got millennium kids. We grew up in an age when everything was interesting. And I think for the millennium kids, they've got their heads down, tapping buttons a lot. But we didn't have that to tap. So we saw everything and sort of interested for everything. There was a program called Why Don't You Go Turn Off Your Tablet and Go Do Something Less Boring Instead. What a long title. But we'd sit there and watch it. It wasn't tablet. It was Why Not Turn Off Your TV and Go Do Something Less Boring Instead. And we'd sit there watching it. But there'd be some great little ideas. And it was early morning. Mates weren't out playing football yet. So I've had my breakfast. I might as well sit down and watch it with banana splits. Banana splits. I'm taking you down memory lane. But anyway, this next poem is all about RAP. And RAP in my world stands for Respect All People. This particular poem is just called Respect My Respect. And it goes a bit like this. I'm just going to do this because I share some candy for everybody there. Share a bit of candy, showing some love to all the World Wide Web listeners around the world. Big respect. I know it's my Yorkshire style. We do speak a little fast at times, but please always read between my lines. Then you'll get some extra rhymes. This one's called Respect My Respect, just like you should. You want respect, don't act like a thug. Respect my respect, spend a little time. Don't make your face look like sour. La 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 la. Respect is good, respect is true. Respect is a thing that we all should do. If you don't love and show respect, the whole of the world will be shipwrecked. If we don't love and show respect, the whole of the world will be shipwrecked. Respect my respect, just like you should. You want respect, don't act like a thug. Respect my respect, spend a little time. Don't make your face look like sour. Some seem to forget what is respect. Respect's from the heart before the mouth. Respect don't mean push and shove me about, turn me around or give me a clout. Teasing, stealing, verbal abusing, granny scaring, it's not amusing, stone throwing, window breaking, people hurting, people dying, people crying, people sighing. If you diss, you should be ashamed because this is not part of the respect game. So respect my respect, just like you should. You want respect, don't act like a thug. Respect my respect, spend a little time. Don't make your face look like sour. La 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 la. Thank you very much. Thank you. Which brings me around to a couple more, and I think are we gonna? John, how are we doing? We're
doing okay. Give us a couple more, and then we'll have it. I'll put out some parish notices, and then we'll all have a chat.
That sounds very good. This next poem is simply called "Within the Light of Respect." Badness is madness, and it goes a bit like this. Instead of having a fight, I've learned to just write. Now, since then, all my days have been sunny and bright. I realize my pen's a glove. It knocks out hate and brings forth love. My old school bully used to push and shove, push and shove, push and shove, till my pen knocked him out and taught him some love. He also thought it was really bad, but deep down inside, my pen knew he was sad. So my pen took him on one-on-one and taught him a valuable lesson. Now I call him a friend, a very good friend. I don't have to keep saying, stop messing, I said. Wouldn't you rather be cool instead of being cruel? Wouldn't you rather just cool instead of being cruel? Cruel to your brother and cruel to your sister, and your sister is a girl, just like your mother, and I am like you. That's why I called you brother. Brother, do you hear me? Do you understand? The time has come to represent. One day you'll be a man. The table's gonna turn one day. The wicked, cruel will get their pay. So yo, 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 just remember when we say badness is madness and play is just play. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I did a workshop with some young people in Kirklees recently. It was young people who look after an elder member of the family, I should say. So this particular poem is sharing it for those who look after elder members of their family, and also for maybe some of the youths that I worked with earlier this year. It's called Voices That Care. For all young people who look after a family member, big respect and fully blessed. Try walk a day in my shoes. They're filled with smiles, rhythm and blues, tears, trials, swings of moods. Am I not the anchor of the ship? Am I not the steel, the polish, the spit? Am I not the candle burning bright to keep my house full of light? Am I not the bread, the butter and cheese? Am I not the milk, the honey and the breeze? Am I not the morning, the dawning, the lunch, the tea? Am I not all of this for my family? Am I not the water, the towel, the brush and cream? Am I not flowing like a spring or a stream? Am I not the bedrock, the table and chairs? Am I not the apple, the oranges and pears? Am I not the chairlift at both poles of the stairs? I am the person of a voice that cares. Big respect. Thank you very much.
Hey.
I'll do one more, I think, John.
Yeah, go for it.
Oh, okay. A couple more, because I know. As I said, I don't want to overwhelm you. Always read between my lines, then you'll get the extra rhymes. Keep flowing your wind like a roller coaster, busting up your rhymes like you're supposed to. So this particular poem is called Journey on a Pen. You can go anywhere on a pen. Yeah. Journey on a pen. Think about it. You can go anywhere. You can even go in deep space. You can go to the bottom of the ocean. You can go in the darkest parts of the jungle. Anywhere. And you can even go places that maybe aren't in this dimension. It's called Journey on a Pen. It goes like this. Words won't stop coming out of my brains, out of my brains, out of my brains. Words rolling just like a train, like a train, like a train. My pen's out of my brain, down to my veins, down to my fingers for my pen to write again. Again, another word. Again, another style. Again, another thought. Again, another line. I want to stop, but you know I cannot. I'll have to wait till my pen drops me off. My pen drops me off. Well, at the next stop, please. I'm talking to my pen. Faster, faster as my pen writes again. All of a sudden, it made a sudden stop. Because, you know, sometimes you write and you get to a blank spot. So I made a sudden stop. But before I could stop, my pen shut off like a rocket and a bullet down the page, just like an actor dancing on the page. My pen hears the beat of a silent sound. Before it lets me go, it's writing them down. My pen's happy now, it's gonna let me go. Because this line says it's the end of my flow. Thank you very much. I'm going to do one more and then we will take some questions. And remember, as I says, adults need encouraging and need all the confidence boosting as well. But for young people, try to be all you can be. With the right support and help from your family, you can be all you can be. So this particular poem is called To Be or Not
To Be.
I think you've heard it. I think that I'm going to do it. So everybody knows. To be or not?
To be.
Thank you. That is the question. Well, I have the answer, and it goes like this. Louis. I've got Louis, Simone. Is it Simona? Stephanie? Jason? And, you know, here we go. You can be. I can be. You can be. I can be. You can be. I can be. Arifa can be. Or friends of Harry, I can be anything you want. The queen of sport, an astronaut, even the judge in court, the captain of the ship, the master of the port, a general in the army, or bringing thieves to court. One thing you should never be a naught. Be a doctor, a surgeon, even a nurse. Come to me if you're ill or feeling one or worse. A teacher, preacher, even engineer, or make scary movies. Boom! Oh, I bet somebody jumped. Or things disappear. A builder, designer, like an architect. Even in school, it was a cool subject. Prime Minister's executive, next president. That might be too easy because you're too intelligent. A writer, researcher, star on a stage. One thing you should never be is a blank page. Because life is what you live. And life is what you make it. So don't be just a sieve and go around and shake it and fake it. You can make it. You can make it. Make it if you try. All you got to do is set your standard high. Do you not me bug? That's a bug. High. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I think we'll take some questions there, John.
It's been a great night. It's been a great night. I've got a couple of notices before everyone disappears. If wherever you're listening, Facebook or whatever device you're listening on, go to the back page, because Donavan, like all artists, is not having an easy time. Normally you'd be out gigging right now.
That's right.
You'd be going all over the world gigging.
Yeah.
But right now, we're just doing everything from home, and the only way you can live is if people put a little. There's a hat. Go to the World Storytelling Cafe, and you find Donovan's name, and beneath it is a hat. You can drop some money in it. Drop some money in it. Keep him alive. You know, we need him writing more and more and more.
Appreciate all the support.
And the other bit is we've got some great stuff coming up on World Storytelling Cafe on the same thing on Black History Month. We've got Monday. We've got part 2 of African Stories, and we've got Yusuf Jallo, Shola Story, Zuha from Morocco, and I'm hoping Anna Mudika will join us from Zimbabwe, and then on Wednesday, 2 Wednesdays running, the next 2 Wednesdays, we're doing with Cambridge Storytellers put on a fantastic program for Black History Month yet last night, and we're taking that and re-showing it on the World Storytelling Cafe. So, but right now I'm going to shut up and hand over to, you can ask questions to Donavan. Louis, have you got a question for Donavan? Or what?
I have. Right, Donavan, what's your favorite Black History hero?
It's a difficult question, but recently I found a young man called, this week, you can find one every week, Louis, and I think this week I'm going to say William Key. Last week it was Bass Reeves. Does that help?
Why you said their name?
Sorry?
Why you said their name?
These are my favourite Black History people. John?
I think he was asking who that is.
Who?
Yeah.
What is? Who? My favourite?
Yeah. Just when you say the name of the people, just say a little bit about them.
Yeah. As for William Key, Bass Reeves, I explained earlier. William Key is, as I said, it takes the fun out of it. You know, but I understand Louis in terms of William Key was like Dr. Dolittle, the original Dr. Dolittle. So if you Google him and read his story, and it has parallels with the story of Dr. Dolittle and Mr. Ed.
Oh, okay.
Thank you very much. That was a real great question. But
Bass Reeves, if you remember from earlier, he was saying like the original Lone Ranger. So there's so look that up, Louis.
Yeah.
Anyone else got? Or you can have another question if you want, or someone else question for Donavan.
Yes, please.
You have to unmute yourselves before you can ask a question. It's just one of those technical things.
Yeah.
Mike.
Yeah, I was wondering, Donavan, who would you say are your main influences in your own style of poetry?
My father. My dad. No, I'm not a follower of people, to tell you the truth. I never have been. I've been a dreamer. I'm a bit of a dreamer. I see a lot of things. And because I experienced racism and discrimination as an infant, you know, I've always been a dreamer. But I did, you know, in terms of literacy, people, Muhammad Ali was the first person I may have gone, okay, Muhammad Ali's king of the world and black people are having a hard time. So whenever Muhammad Ali was fighting, the whole black community, whether it was in England, America, or anywhere, was right behind him in his corner. And another young man that inspired me was actually Bruce Lee, because of his philosophy on life. So, you know, and Linton Kwesi Johnson. I could say loads more. Nick Chopchek, John Rowe, but these are the people who've worked with me and mentored me and given me a great deal of philosophy in life to share with you all. Hope that helps.
Yeah, it's really interesting. It's just your poster looked a bit like Ben Zephaniah.
People
You're posted behind
people
you.
can get us mixed up, but I didn't see. Sometimes I can see where, but on the one for last night, the one on the poster for this, or the one
behind you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, as
You
I
don't look
said,
anything like him, really. But
this is what gets us in trouble, though. This is what gets us in trouble. You look like Benjamin. It must be him. So be careful. Be careful.
I look like John.
Yeah, we
could.
Yeah, you and John, we get you all in an ID parade. But as I said, there's many guys. People have come up to me and shook my hand and called me by my tribe name, and they thought I lived in Birmingham. So they actually thought I was the guy from Birmingham, and came up and gave me a full blessing and greeting. And I said, "Bless, I think you found the wrong brother, because I'm from my local ends rather than big city." So, we do have a resemblance. It's family from another mother, as we say. Great question, though, but yeah.
It's odd for the Yorkshire accent to get mixed up with the Brummie accent.
Yeah, it's a bit, it's
very
not so
different.
Yeah, we have a bit of a Yardshire accent, because if you go to Sheffield and Barnsley, the accents are far, and even Leeds. So I think the black accent has become a Yardshire, and I spell it YardshA, because it's my yard. Me there from a long time, mixing with the Yorkshire twang, and the Yorkshire twang isn't very similar from the Caribbean attitudes and the way we live anyway. So it's a beautiful mix. Yorkshire people do not play, and I know Jamaicans, when they're ready, we don't play. And very blunt and upfront, and if we're going to tell you something, we'll tell you. So I love it. It's a beautiful mix.
Thank you.
Great question. John?
Have we got anything else? Yeah, I'm gonna ask on influences, because I know it influenced Ben a lot, because he started from, and I know you record reggae stuff. How much of that sound system? I mean, I'm back from that time when I used to run around the sound systems, and I owned the Luton band, so I ran around every town system in the district. So how much of that of that toasting from sound systems influences?
It's like second nature. It's in my genes, as I say, because remember, my parents came from Jamaica, so as an infant, it would be a pat when I did house. I saw he did a talk, and your daddy sometimes talk hard and very fast and talk to us in parables. Yeah, and so we went to school to learn English, but at home we spoke broken English. The parents, we spoke English, but we could understand what our parents were speaking. So it's just that raw mix of Yorkshire and Jamaica coming together in harmony. So I can say yowing, flowing like a roller coaster, always read between my lines, then you'll get the extra rhymes. So it's just a flavoring.
Yeah. I mean, what I was taking from that was that sort of that spontaneous rhyming of toasting and just of whatever was going on at the time, and so the rhyming becomes second nature.
That's right. Music, a lot of the music from the Caribbean always had a little story. There's a rhyme in there, or there's some parables or proverbs, and there were some tunes we weren't supposed to hear, and we're like trying to work it out what it all meant. Yeah, because parents don't want you to hear those tunes, and no, they're not for listen to that tune there. And then we're like, okay, what? So as I said, proverbs. I love proverbs. I love parables. It opens the mind. When you tell people straight, they sometimes forget. When you give them a puzzle and they've had to puzzle over it and eventually find it out or reason it out, they do this. Oh yeah, I get you now. And I don't want to deny people of that. So when they find a parable that someone says, a simple one was, if you don't hear, you're going to feel. And so we had to work that out, and we did swiftly. And it doesn't always mean necessarily physical. If you don't get your grades in and your work done in the future, you just might not get a job. So, if you don't hear, you're going to feel. And all the teachers and the mentors helping young people to get to the next level of this computer game called life. Some are probably at level 7, some are at level 8, some are going on to level 9. You've got level 3, 4, 5, 2, and 1 back there. And that's what life is. It's like going through a computer game. You've got to get to the next level. Got to get to the next level. And if you haven't got all the equipment, as you know, in the computer games, if you didn't see that little old man at the door with the key, the golden key, you never saw him. You need to kind of half do the whole level again just to get that key, or climb them 4 or 5 pyramids just to get that key that you never got. And so you can get to the next level. So think of it that way. It's life.
Thanks, Donovan. Now, is anyone else? We've got who we got who hasn't asked anything? Brenda, you're back with us, and you're still on mute. Have you got a question? Simona sitting in Romania.
Like to say big up to Simona, Jason, Arifa, Nazreen, and Brenda. Lawrence, big respect, Brenda. You don't know. Jason, I left you. So I see the names on screen, so I'm just giving them a shout, because if you haven't got a question, no problems, but big respect. Noted that you're all here. Louis, thanks for your support up there. And is that Ali? Was this Ali Alpha? Big respect. And we've got somebody over here, John. Who's this? Stephanie. Yeah, I just want to say to all those names I've just called out, I want to say big respect, lots of lots of love. And as I said, teach the youths them rights, you know, and it is about finding the truth. It's going back to your Black history stuff. And I normally say, with the right support, you know, with the right information and support, all shall be well. But young people do need that support. So that's my message to you all as well. Any more questions there, John?
Well, no, Louis, have you got something finally to say before Jason, before we say goodbye to Donovan?
My favourite history hero,
Yeah,
will be you.
Oh my Lord!
Because I like your poems and I like your raps.
Louis, listen, Louis. This is for you, man. Lots of love. And as I said, big respect for that. You've made my day there, Louis. You know, really you have. I appreciate it. Somebody asked last night about Black poets other than Lem Cisse and some of the more familiar ones that they should know about. And I simply said Donavan Christopher. You know, there's my first shout. So really appreciate that, Louis. Big respect for that.
And if anyone wants to any of Donovan's books, go to Donovan's website, where you can look that up on the. If you look up his name on the Storytelling Cafe, it's got the website up there. But it's www.rappaman.com. And Rappaman is spelled Rappaman. Got that right. My dyslexic self got that right.
Yeah, that's right. Rappaman.com. www.rappaman.com. Rappaman is RAPPAMAN.com. Drop me a line, drop me a shout, and I shall reply or supply. That sounds great.
Well, thank you very much. It's been a great night, and thank you.
I'm going to finish with a poem.
Okay.
Oh yeah, finish with a poem. Let's play us out. Play us out with a poem.
Yeah, it's a nice little cool poem, and it's simply called.
Okay.
Sorry.
I can't wait to hear it.
Thank you very much. It's a bit of a fun poem. I'm not going to do listen, I've got a poem called St. Miscellaneous Grammar School. It's like a competition. It takes a lot longer to do that one, but this one is called Number 6 Up the Street, and it goes like this. Number 6 up the street is a house made of sweets. The house made of sweets looks like a nice treat. If you're in my neighborhood, you should really go and see it. Bricks of chocolate stuck with toffee. The doors are caramel and smell well jolly. The windows wobble, so there must be jelly. The satellite dish and even the telly. Marshmallows for the beds, tables and chairs. A spiral curly whirly. Snakes up the stairs. All the curtains are wafers on licorice sticks, decorated with candy and sherbet pips. The kitchen and the bathroom made of cake. When you turn on the tap, you get milkshake. The floors are made of biscuits, the lamps shades too. Hold on a sec. Someone's eaten the loo. The back door, the ceiling, and the kitchen, and emptied the tank with a milkshake in. When I got back home, my mum was standing there. She looked at me with a glaring stare. Where have you been and what have you been doing? Nowhere, Mum. I'm just coming in. She looked at me. My face had a grin. She said, excuse me, what is this on your chin? There was chocolate and toffee, caramel and jelly, a piece of the telly and part of the loo, licorice and biscuit. You know, I had to risk it. I wasn't going to miss this. What would you do? The house up the street was a house made of sweets. So the house made of sweets was a house I had to eat. Big respect. My name's Donavan Christopher, aka the Rappaman. Thank you for tuning into the World Wide Web of the Storytelling Cafe. John Rowe.
Well, when all this is over, when we're able to do live, I've got to get myself to Yorkshire. I've got to get on the stage with you and Nick, the three of us together, because it's got to happen. It's one of those things that is compulsory, right? Okay, thank you, Donovan.
Thank
Big
you.
round of applause.
Thanks, Jonathan.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
God bless you all.
Thank you, Stephanie. Thank you, Mike.
Be good, stay safe.
Ali,
And-
thank you. Ali
and-
down in
and to you,
Morocco, thank
Jonathan.
you for just driving the bus. Bye.
Bye.